meeting tonight, Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. It is approximately 6:31. I am calling the meeting to order. Everybody stand, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Mr. Secretary Jeff Minchuk, take the roll call.
All right, I don't have a paperwork with me, but I'll go from here. We have Mr. Rich. Here. Mr. Holt. Here. Mr. Melvin is absent. Mr. Deering. Here. Mr. Pettit. Here. I am here, Madam President.
I am here, thank you. Okay, well, the first item on our agenda is an election for tonight of our officers. So, does anybody have a recommendation? Do you want it to be the same, or what do you want, board members?
I apologize, ma'am, I was not paying attention.
Oh, here you go. I said it's our election night tonight for our officers.
I will make a motion to keep everything the same.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Mr. Jeff Minchuk, our secretary, to keep it the same.
Second.
And we have a second by Mr. Brian Deering. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Consistency, that's what.
Consistency. Thank you, Brian. Okay, continuing on with the agenda. Oh, the minutes of January 17th, 2023. Could I have an approval?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve and a second for the minutes of January 17, 2023. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion approved for the minutes. Any communications from anybody here?
No, Madam President.
Any communication, Sheila, Robert, Steve?
No.
None.
Okay, we have no communications as of now. Do I have any comments? Comments from the chairman? All I can say is, I think the board did a spectacular job last year, and I really appreciate that they worked with me, because I did need some working. But everybody was very, very good, and I'm sure the public will go far this year too with all our development and all our members here. And thank you.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
If I may interject, we'd like to thank you also for serving as our chairman for the last, now it'll be 3 years. You've done an excellent job.
Oh, well,
And,
thank you.
You know, it's been an honor to work with all of you.
Thank you, Brian. I didn't even remember it was 3 years. Thank you. That's good. All right. Okay, continuing on, do we have any old business tonight? No old business? Any new business? No new business? Okay, do we have any other business?
Yes, we do, Madam President.
Okay, Mr. Pettit, bring it on.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I asked Sheila to put this together. As you guys may or may not know, Pat Reardon, Angie Chilcott, and I, along with the Sheila and Steve, the development team, we typically field calls at Angie's level or Pat's level, and then Pat disseminates it and brings the staff together, Steve and Sheila and Matt Lake. And there have been, again, you all know that we're exploding. I mean, I cannot speak highly enough about this team that we've put together with Pat and Angie and Sheila and Matt and Steve, and including Bob, who gives consulting work. For those of you that have not done it yet, I strongly encourage you to take a drive down Mississippi Street south of 93rd Avenue. It is extremely impressive to see walls going up on a 1 million square foot building, and they are tilted right now. That being said, we have fielded questions. In fact, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, Sheila. Jake is here with Big Concrete. Jake has got the building right on Mississippi and 94th Court. Is it Pioneer, Jake?
Yes.
Pioneer. He built it. He leases it out. He's going to be coming to us with a 3-lot subdivision, which will include the building that's there and then subdividing 2 more lots off of 94th Court, Sammy Bladecki Drive, however you want to refer to it. It's the drive into the Little League property. I've had the pleasure of working with District 1 in my other capacity at Lamar. They have put the Little League up for sale. And with that, I'm going to turn that part of it over to Pat on the status of the Little League. Pat?
Okay, thank you, Councilman Pettit. Unfortunately, the short schedule and then conflicting schedules did not allow representatives from Centauri Properties, I believe is their correct name, to be here. They have signed a contract with the current owner, hoping to purchase the property. I am told that their current intent is to convert that property into a logistics center. Now, exactly what that means, don't know. When I hear that, conjures up in my mind a building similar to what's been built recently at a Merrillville. Maybe something smaller like Murray Commercial on Broadway. I talked with Milan Petrovic, I believe is his last name, and we're gonna have a conversation again tomorrow. We were touching on zoning issues, but in bringing it up here, I believe what we're gonna have is a similar product to what we see all over. And it may be of interest to them, our property. I know the gentlemen here have expressed interest in the property.
Right.
I don't know, but we'll follow up with them. I have not seen a contract. I know that the realtor repping the current owner, Tim Brust, called, and this agreement was just struck, I think, Thursday of last week.
Okay. The other parcel, you guys, if you look at that blue map that Sheila gave us, you see a square that's open there. That's the property that the town owns. We own the right-of-way, obviously, for 94th Court, but the property that Pat was alluding to, we own. There is also another property owner in there outside of the Little League. Alexander Petrovsky owns a rectangle in there. Then you've got the strip center that, you enter that strip center, you see it on 93rd Avenue, but you have to come in off of 94th Court. Directly on the corner, David Shepard with Hoosier Diesel is here. David's right now, you're on Mississippi, right, David?
No, I'm in Louisiana.
Louisiana Street. He has bought that corner. He is the reason that corner looks fantastic, and I want to thank David for taking the time to clean that whole, tore the house down, cleared out all the vegetation. And I guess it's your intent to drop those buildings, David, eventually?
Yes, right now, we're currently in negotiations with NIPSCO, kind of bumped heads a little bit where they want to put their power at, so, we're in the process of finalizing that whole ordeal. And then from there, we can keep moving forward.
So there will be how big will your building be on the corner, David?
Well, as of right now, there is no solid plans. I've had several interests from several different Fortune 500 companies where they did make me sign an NDA, so I'm not gonna drop their names. They did express interest in the property, so, just taking it a day at a time. But I'm trying to get over the hump with NIPSCO, which looks like we're there.
Okay. And then again, Jake is here with the Big Concrete. Jake, your 3-lot subdivision, again, you've got the existing building out there. What are you're looking to build similar buildings on the other 2 lots once you bring the subdivision to us?
Yeah, we're under contract with lot number 2 behind my building, with a guy who's looking to get, he'll be on the docket probably, I would imagine, in April, because we're on the docket to subdivide it in March, and I think the approvals from civils also in March. So once he gets the subdivision, and it's actually, the property's divided, he can come in and pitch what he wants to do there, but I believe, yeah, it's another building.
Okay.
Well, I think he wants to get a variance for something, and you'll find all that out.
And the obvious, why I bring this to you ladies and gentlemen, as the ward councilman, is I want you guys in the loop. I trust your opinion. We've had the discussion of the pods, and the Penske building, and I felt as a courtesy, you guys need to know what's going on, development-wise, this area, this corridor. Now, keep in mind, this area between 93rd and 101st, I-65 and Mississippi is all zoned M1, It has an M1CO overlay, correct, Sheila?
Yes.
Around the perimeter, which
Around the
means
perimeter.
if you're in that 300-foot perimeter, you're dressing that building up and you're putting a drive-it front or a block or something like that. So that's kind of an overview. If anybody's got any, questions or concerns for the guys in the audience, or Pat or myself, we just kind of wanted to get together and give you a thumbnail of what you're going to see coming up here probably in 2023, I would imagine, right, Sheila?
Yes.
Well, it looks very good. Are you planning on leasing when you get in somebody new in the building?
Well, the new building will be, it'll be developed by the guy who buys the property. That lot number.
Oh, okay.
I will still own.
Ma'am, pardon me, you guys could, we can't hear. When you come up, why don't you come up and speak into this, so it's being.
Oh, okay, yes. Thank you, Pat.
Thanks, Greg.
Sorry, Craig.
Sorry, Craig.
Sorry, Greg.
Greg,
I thought he was
They can
talking
hear
to
me at the
me.
high school, so I'm not worried about it.
Who went to high school
I
with
said
who?
they can hear me at the high school,
Oh,
so I'm not worried about it.
no.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, you're good, Jake.
Well, we want you on record.
So, lot number 2 is going to be purchased by, I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce his last name, but anyway, he'll be building his own building there. And then I'll still have lot number 3, which I plan on doing another building there at some point in time, just at this particular
Well, when you
moment.
put the other building in, will that be for yourself?
The third one,
Yes,
I haven't decided yet.
okay.
I don't know.
Jake, when you subdivide this with us next month, you and I talked, there's one white house out there. Mother and son live out there, know them very well. You going back at them, is that part of your 3-lot subdivision then?
No, that's 9490 Mississippi. So
Uh-huh.
that's shaped like an L, so,
Yeah,
it wraps around their house.
so basically it goes from
So-
their house to the north boundary of Silos at Sanders Farm and
Yep.
wraps around the backside.
It goes all the way to the Little
Yeah.
League field, yeah.
We've always tried to strive to be good neighbors with the folks out there, and I know you know those folks, Sean. Is there a plan to make decorative screening, et cetera, so that the people that choose to keep living in their homes that their families have lived in for many years, is there a possibility that we can get proper screening so they aren't just staring at a brick wall or a block wall?
You know, I don't know what I'm gonna put on 9490, that's like kind of a separate deal that, I'm actually entertaining that right now. But I have no problem putting, I like my stuff to look beautiful. And, Bill, the guy who's, he's the son over there of, what's her name? Sean? you know.
Josephine Maiska.
Josephine.
Yeah,
Josephine's 97 years old, Bill's her
her
son.
son, yeah.
Super nice guy, he's been real supportive. I've even offered to buy his house, or at least, be the first guy that he considers if they were ever gonna sell it. And he said, man, Jake, I don't care if they build all around me. We ain't going nowhere. So, so he's been super nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have no problem, making
That
something
would be,
that.
we appreciate it. You
Yeah.
know, I know that this is all commercial, it's all M, but, we try and have tried for many years to be good neighbors.
Yeah.
So that when a commercial property is built, that the people that, like you say, 90-some years old, probably lived there her
Yeah.
entire adult life,
Yeah.
could be a couple of generations even.
Yeah, yeah.
And now her son,
of those.
hey, God bless them. They want to stay in their home, let them stay in their home.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't mind that, I don't like me personally, I don't like the fact of having a house next to my commercial, my industrial property. So I would probably want to do something there to dress it up anyway.
Screen it from the other direction too.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's why, I'm open to.
Yeah, that's why we like developers like yourself. You
Yeah.
take care of the neighbors.
Yeah.
Appreciate it a lot.
Well, he's been too nice. I mean, I couldn't even, the guy's the nicest guy. If you didn't like him, you're probably the problem, you know what I mean?
Who is your attorney?
I'm sorry?
Who's your attorney?
What's his name, man? Pat
Oh,
Schuster.
Pat Schuster?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
knows his stuff.
What?
Pat knows his stuff,
Yes, he does.
Yeah. and he's gonna do it right.
Yes, he will. That I agree with. Well, any other comments you have right now?
Not right now.
Anybody? No?
To be honest with you, I was actually hoping that down the road, somebody would have bought the ball fields and turned them
Yeah,
into
that's sad.
something, and
sad.
we could try and get the Little League World Series back here that was
Yeah.
here for generations. But
I thought that that's what we were here for, to be honest with you. I had gotten word that somebody bought that property and was gonna put a sports complex there, and I came in here excited thinking, man, if we work a deal out with that parking lot property, I'd love to put a batting cage there or something, you know, or
Yeah.
a building with a batting cage inside, and just kind of complement everything, or,
And that's obviously something that is Angie's full-time job, and she has had, we have had some calls, Jake, about, you know, and someone was looking at that gentleman out of Illinois, and we've kind of directed him, I think we've directed him, Pat, over to the high school, the residential, because I had a meeting with a different part of Crow Holdings, it's Trammell Crow, and they wanted to put two big industrial buildings in back of those houses, and that wasn't gonna fly. With the traffic on 73rd Avenue, there's no way to get them in there. That's also the problem I told this gentleman. I said, getting traffic in and out of ball fields, and how much are you gonna generate on 73rd Avenue or 69th Avenue? So I'm not sure, you know, where that's gonna fall, but there have been interest. She's fielded calls from somebody about a baseball, like an indoor training softball, baseball facility. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Well, and you know, to be honest with you, if you look at the old Junedale Field.
Sure.
They were right in the middle of houses, you know, I mean, you couldn't have had a worse place trying to get people in and out of. They hosted that Little League World Series for years, and all the local teams played there. I mean, it was a great complex.
They were busy. They were
Yeah, it's-
busy every night in the
Yep,
summer.
yep.
Every night.
So, yeah, that would be something that would be really good to pursue.
Sure. Well, do we have any more discussion on this 93rd and Mississippi? Sean, you have any more to say?
I don't know, Pat, have we missed anything? Sheila? I don't know, Steve, if you or Bob have any, I mean, you're more, once they get into the filing, I'm sure you guys are gonna look at Jake's subdivision as it comes through, and then when David's ready to do what he's gonna do, you know.
Yeah, I don't have anything to comment on it at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you guys have anything else you wanna say, David? No?
I did have a couple questions. Was there any discussion on that lot, and like, where is that discussion about, you know, the one that I came in and had them?
Yeah, Ricardo, he's asked, and I forgot to ask Joe about this. I apologize, Jake. It's kind of been a whirlwind. That square that you see in the middle, that's a parking lot that we acquired because we cut the access. This 93rd Avenue became a limited access roadway with federal aid money. So we had to bring them in on 94th, and that square we own. Not only do we own the right-of-way, we own that square, and Jake was asking, if the Little League's not there, do we need to have that parking? Would the town consider relinquishing that? I told him $15 million, but I'd be a little high, I don't know. I'd have to get two appraisals, right, and take the average?
Well,
Right.
get two good appraisals, people you know. People you know.
But yeah, he's interested in the possibility of buying that parking lot and doing something with it. There is other people besides David and Jake, as I alluded to, you know, we know someone's got a purchase agreement, as Pat said. We've got the gentleman, Mr. Petrovsky, and then the strip center is in a trust. And Margie, you probably know this name. The entrance into it is owned by Ned Kovacevic.
Yes.
And
know
so we've
Our
got some different.
planning commissioner in the county.
Yeah, Lake County Planning
Yeah,
Commission, yeah.
yes.
So,
I know
we
that.
got some different owners out there.
Sure.
But if you wanna, when Joe gets back, Ricardo, if you can talk to him or have him give us a call, and see, you know, obviously, we're gonna have to, I don't know how you appraise a parking lot, but, you know.
Well, maybe we could have Ned come to the meeting too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
that's true, yeah. So, unless anybody's got anything else, like I said, I just wanna keep you guys in the loop. Some of the stuff that we're dealing with on a staff level. Go, David?
David, pardon me.
Oh, yeah, if you.
Yeah,
could
come up
speak.
to the mic, David, if
Yeah,
you
because
would.
we record the meetings, so.
No, go ahead. You got another question, or? I guess my question was, we're just kind of wondering like why we got called to a meeting here. because we, you know,
Just to overview the plan commission, just to
Okay.
tell the plan commission kind of what's going on out there,
I
Jake,
got
is all I
you.
wanted to do.
We're
okay.
just trying to keep the plan commission informed, because what's
Yeah.
coming in, you know.
Because Pat and Angie and Sheila and the staff, they field calls, you know, all day, and we sit in meetings depending on whose ward, whether it's out west in Margie's Ward 4, or Jeff's got,
Yeah.
you know, the middle of town. We just want to keep the citizen members of the plan commission informed as to what's going on.
Well, what happened when I walked in, they walked in and I said, who are you?
Yeah,
And they said, we are here for the discussion. I said, oh, 93rd in Mississippi, that is Councilman Pettit's
Yeah.
ward. Okay, we will discuss.
So Jake,
And
you're
that
not
was
in
it.
trouble.
You're not in trouble.
You're not in trouble.
Just wait till March when Brian starts asking us questions.
Well, and to be honest with you, as Councilman Pettit said, we as the citizen volunteers appreciate all the information we can get. Because, you know, of course, the council persons, they get all the information. Staff gets all the information direct from the horse's mouth in meeting after meeting after meeting. And it's sometimes hard for us to look at a project. We get an agenda on a Friday, and then we have a million questions that, you know, maybe some of them could have been answered tonight, you know, or at least give us a heads up of what might go out there so we can start thinking, hey, would this work? Would that work?
Yeah.
The part about your neighbors, anything that we can come up with, and we really appreciate you guys coming in and helping
well,
us out.
if that being the, you know, the topic there, then, you know, the 9490 property, I would really love to put a storage facility there in the front, and then a building in the back that backs up against the baseball fields. I mean, is that something that I would be discussing here tonight? Because, I mean, it was something that I'm gonna draw up. Eventually, I was gonna present it to Sheila.
You mean on the south side
I
of
wasn't gonna
Josephine's
present it
house?
to him, because I'm pretty sure he's gonna say no.
On the south side of Josephine's house?
Yeah, that property
Yeah.
right there that
Yeah.
wraps around it.
Well, if you want to discuss it, go on. We could listen.
Well, I mean, I plan on putting, what I would like to do, and I didn't bring this because I didn't know what this conversation was gonna be about tonight, but I have like a little layout, like an overview layout of what I'd like to do there with cold storage and climate-controlled storage. I would dress the building up and make it look beautiful in the front, obviously.
Thank
We could put screens or something up to block their view and to enhance our view, you know? And just do something very tasteful, but probably somewhere in the 30 to 40,000 square foot space total. I mean, I would probably have to do it in a couple phases, but
Yeah.
that's the overall.
Yeah, I don't have a problem
Premise.
with that use, Jake, as far as, you know, my support, your councilman. Sheila in the M1, is he still a special exception or use variance?
No, storage is permitted in M1.
In the M1
It's
he's
a
permitted?
permitted use.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
okay.
I think that'll, you know, that's
It's a perfect place. to
all
live.
in line, yeah, it's landscaped and, you know.
Great, all right.
Well, it
you have
sounds
any
like
questions?
you've got it together. Does anybody else want to talk?
David had a
David
question, I
had
think.
Okay, David?
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me one more question.
I'll get all the mic, I'll get all the mic.
I'm sorry. Regarding the parking lot property, is there like a time frame that we can kind of expect maybe an answer on that? Because we're kind of in limbo on, you know, I know that's a difficult question, but I mean,
It's probably gonna, well, that's something I'd have to talk to Pat and Joe, and even Steve about, and Bob, as far as access in. What exactly is gonna go on the Little League property? Are we going to, again, this is something, again, back to the plan commission. Are they gonna give us a site layout? Are they gonna subdivide? Are they gonna do a planned unit development? Are they gonna dedicate something into, you know, that property, for a public right-of-way? We're gonna have to kind of look at all that. Really, it
depends on.
doesn't do us any good, quite honestly, to own it, in my opinion. You know, if we're just gonna keep 94th Court going all the way deep into the Little League property, again, that's something we would have to consider as a PUD, or are they gonna get a variance, Sheila, because it's a cul-de-sac? Are they gonna put a cul-de-sac in there, Pat, and you know, turn around? We only allow a 600-foot cul-de-sac, you know? Those are some things, Jake, that, you know, again, I don't have a problem getting rid of it. It's just, we gotta follow it based on what Joe and Ricardo say as far as, you know, all kidding aside on the price. I don't know that we can if we could just liquidate it, Ricardo, I mean, I can't
Can't.
donate it. I mean, we've probably got to get, the problem we've got,
Two.
Jake, I might have mentioned in the meeting, is we use federal aid money to build that.
Yep.
And so I don't know that we would be allowed just to give it away. There's gonna have to be some monetary, I would think, Ricardo, don't you? I mean,
Well, I think there's,
what?
You have no basis then.
Yeah.
You gotta give it to you.
I think there's a lot of legalities. I think
Yeah.
we give you research there.
But conceptually, I think we could probably get an answer for you by the end of the month I
Okay.
mean, you know,
All right.
Oh, yeah.
week from today, maybe a week from Friday, if you can give us a week to 10 days, we should be able to get something.
And would it
hammered
be,
out.
would it help, would it be more enticing if we could guarantee that we would have property tax generating building there within a year? I mean, just to throw it out there, I mean, if you guys if you were to approve this some way, we would jump on it immediately.
Okay,
So just to kind of
all right.
nudge you if you
Well,
can.
And Sean, you know, to be honest with you, and then I know that we remember a lot of this, not so much in this case, because it is an M1 already, but when we start liquidating town-owned property,
Yeah.
what has happened in the past?
Yeah.
You know, we've come back to regret it in other
Yeah.
cases. Not so much this case, but yeah, we definitely have to do our due diligence on this, and I'm
Yeah.
sure legal can chime in. I don't know about federal, I don't even know about state, but I know that, you know, just to sell a piece of town property, you have to get two appraisals, and it's fair market value, you know.
That's
Right.
correct, that's done all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you have any questions, legal?
I don't.
Okay.
thank you.
All
Thanks for your
right,
time.
thanks, Jake.
Councilman, you actually answered my question, so.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else care to ask a question or make a comment? No?
No,
Well, I guess.
I've got
we're on
one
the right-
other item
Okay,
that's outside of this area, and I just found out about it, and since the press isn't here,
what is it?
I'm gonna divulge this to, again, share with the plan commission. We saw the Penske building 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes,
We said no to the Broadway location, basically.
right.
Told them to look at the 11 acres. Well, Pat and I talked about this at lunch today. I have mixed emotions because, you know, we've been waiting on the Misner Group. And I don't want to get in a war, but our friends at Crow Holdings got a RFP from Penske for their 11 acres between 98th Avenue and the Big Lots building. And they wanted it, well, where would the town like to see this thing? On 93rd Avenue or inside the park? So I'll leave that for you to ponder and
Wow.
roll around in your head. Right, Pat? I know
Right,
Pat's.
right, Councilman, I think
Pat
this
told me
is.
his feelings on
Yeah, yeah. This is, I think it falls into the category of embarrassment of riches.
Yeah,
Now, here's within the park. But we're available as you ponder. Thank you.
You know, explain yourself, Pat. I didn't get that.
Okay,
An
so,
embarrassment to what?
so,
it's an embarrassment of riches.
You
We
know,
got all this
look,
stuff.
all the
Oh,
activity
okay.
going
I
on.
understand.
Yeah.
And,
I missed
and
out
so
on
we
that
get
word
this
riches.
knuckleball. It's a great knuckleball, but
Yeah,
what do we do?
Problem to have, but
Right,
again, I want to
right.
get your guys' input as
Yeah.
to, as I told Pat, I don't know how much of this is going to be our decision, Margie, you and Jeff and I and the council, as it is. Penske's going to, depending on the price of the two 11-acre parcels, you know, they may come to us and file with Sheila and say, we're going at 98th and Georgia because it was a better deal, or we're gonna stay on 93rd Avenue because it was a better deal. That's gonna be, I think, the petitioner's, you know, decision, maybe not necessarily. All right, we know what the building looks like. We saw the site plan. Barry Misner was here last week. I just wanna, again, keep you guys in the loop as to what's going on, what I'm hearing.
Sean, it would make no difference, and I'm not gonna speak for anybody else up here, but it would make no difference to me where a national brand like Penske would choose to build in our town. Thank you for coming to our town, we're happy.
Yeah.
My thing is I would prefer to see it there next to Pinnacle Hospital, just from the fact, no other consideration other than how many projects have gone on that weird piece of land for project, right? And we've had to deal with this, and we've seen project after project go by the wayside.
Well, technically, Brian, it was one project three
Yeah,
times.
3 times, yeah, and I was here for all 3 of them.
Project after
And,
The
and
assisted
this looked
living.
like a
The
great
nursing-
fit.
yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like a great fit. And it is a hard piece of property. I mean, we've looked at that property over and over, and by the configuration with the drainage,
Yeah.
the frontage road, with the everything associated with that, that's a tough piece of property. And if we can get somebody that says, hey, we're willing to develop it, my God, I'd love to see something go in there rather than it just sitting
Well,
fallow
do you
for
think
years.
the homeowners across the street will remonstrate against it?
I don't think so.
No?
Especially a brand like Penske. You know, if it was, Uncle Joe's tire and lube, I don't know if they'd want that. But this is a very attractive national brand that,
Yeah.
I think would be a benefit, not just to our town, but would be a good neighbor for the folks across the street. Can't
I'll
speak for
give
them
Roger
either.
a call and talk to him about it.
Sorry?
I'll give Roger a call and talk to him about it.
There you go.
That's it.
I still want that grand opening.
That's all I have, Madam President, I promise.
Thank you. Are you sure?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Very sure.
Well, let's see, do we have anything else on the agenda? Nope. I guess this is it? No other
Madam Chairman,
comments, questions?
I would like to bring something up.
What is it, Brian?
I've been researching, and maybe we can get with legal and Pat and councilman in the near future. I've been doing research on, for another project, I've been doing research into our ordinances, our standards, our subdivision ordinance, the control ordinance, and especially PUD. And it had been a long time since I had read the PUD ordinance, and I encourage everyone to go back and read it. One of the most telling statements in the preamble of our PUD controls is that if it can be built in any other zoning configuration, go with that. And it is to never be to the sole benefit of the developer.
You know what
It
PUD
is-
stands for, Brian?
Planned unit development.
No, Planners Undecided District.
Ah, thank you. But it's
You've never
also-
heard that cliche?
Say that again?
Yep,
Planners Undecided District.
Yeah,
okay.
You can't decide what Brian's saying, you
Yeah.
can't decide what zoning district to
Yep.
put it in,
Well-
so you put it in a PUD.
But
But
for
it makes
instance,
sense.
the
What
PUD
you
that we
just-
went round and round about with the storage, for lack of, that's our most recent one, could it have been done any other way? Could it have been done in any other commercial zoning or industrial zoning? It begs the question of everybody that comes in for a PUD is looking to bend the rules. And it says right in that preamble that it is not to be to the sole benefit of the developer. They have to demonstrate how allowing them to basically change the rules from any other zoning benefits the town. And that's the key. And I think that's most important, that we keep that in the PUD ordinance while we're working on, whatever changes we're gonna make to our plan.
So what are you looking for?
No,
A new
I just,
ordinance or
no, not a new ordinance. I
something
just think
written
we
up?
need an educational, even if it's 10, 15, 20 minutes of brainstorming at the end of a meeting sometime, that we can look at the PUD ordinance, take the time to look at it either online or your hard copy, and say, okay, this works, and re-educate ourselves, because I'm not gonna say I didn't forget it, but I had forgotten
Did you want to have a
that
class?
part of it.
Did
Yeah,
you
maybe
want
a
class on
short
Keep in mind, guys, keep in mind that we have allocated, and Pat has got the consultant on board.
Yeah.
And we are doing a comprehensive plan, a zoning ordinance revision, and a subdivision control. Those are all part of the comp plan, which is, they've already had one meeting, Pat?
Yeah, one meeting and then,
Yeah.
pardon me, one meeting and then the formal kickoff will be next month. But now that we're into it, if you will, there's a meeting that takes place at least once a week, every week. So we're getting
So,
closer to this.
7 of us are gonna be, and the BZA and the town council are gonna be elbow deep into that thing come the end of
Sure.
summer,
And then
or if not sooner.
right, if you ever wanted to have just like executive session of the plan commission, just to sit for an hour and chat about ordinances, we could do that as well.
That, I think that would be helpful, and I think it would help Pat and the committee working on the comp plan to see, to find out all of our feelings as people that have worked with this for how many years.
Yep.
And again, it would help re-educate us to go back and reread these ordinances. I read them and I refer to them in little pieces, bits and pieces as different projects come up.
Even in the upcoming months, if we have a Tuesday where, you know, we don't have nothing going on, maybe we can schedule like a 1 hour meeting. We can meet in the back room over here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm the one
I'll let
to
you
run that meeting, because again, I think more knowledgeable people. Sheila is gonna be one of our best resources, Steve, Bob, all of them are gonna be our best resources, because they work with those ordinances day in and day out. And we just need a refresher to say, hey, it reads like this. We forget when those developers are going, well, we gotta have a PUD, you're stealing my firstborn kid if I don't. We need the education that it is, again, just on the PUD, it is to the benefit of the town, and it says, I believe, never the developer.
By the way, guys, I'm not asking for your firstborn kid, Jake or David. I got one of my own, and that's enough. Yeah.
Anything else, board members, audience? Nothing?
Motion
Okay.
to adjourn.
Second? Second. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned at 7:05.
work.
Next, Sean.
Thank you all.